Okay, so here we are.
Why are we here?
We're on our very first podcast. This is my skeptical sister, and why
I am the skeptic.
Yes,
You are the sister.
I, the believer, am Erin, and this is my sister Megan, and she doesn't believe in anything. Well, I believe in everything.
I believe in a lot of things. I don't know that I believe in ghosts.
I don't understand how you don't believe in ghosts.
Because while I've had some weird things happen, I feel like science can always come back and explain them.
I feel like you've lived in a haunted house.
I have lived in a haunted house.
Doesn't make any sense.
I feel like maybe I've lived in a couple of haunted houses.
Okay.
So, but I still feel like whenever those weird, bizarre things have happened, I still can find some rational reason as to why they happen. And I also think that my roommate at the time was a huge influence on this happened and it had to have been a ghost.
And not so much because he believed so much, but because he loved pranks.
He loved to scare me. And so he would put the fear into me. And so anytime anything spooky would happen, he would make sure that I had the shit scared out of me. So,
and weird dynamic. He is now my boss. So
yeah,
we've come full circle.
We sure have. You're welcome for the job.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, we should introduce ourselves a little bit more. So we are both teachers in elementary, and I am an art teacher.
And I'm a behavior coach.
Okay.
We're both elementary.
And we're sisters. We did say that, right?
Yes, we are sisters. And both teachers, which in itself is kind of spooky.
Right. We're both moms.
Which is even scarier.
Yeah, 100%. And I promise that on this podcast, I'm not going to share any cutesy stories about my kids.
Oh, no, we'll only share the worst of the worst.
If we share anything, because I want y'all to listen to be scared. I don't want you to listen to hear about our demonic children.
Terrify you with some stories with our own children.
Yeah, at this point in time, it will not be hard for me to not brag about my kids because...
Oh, no, they're horrible little beings. We're stuck in a pandemic with them.
Since March.
Right.
And we're teaching from home.
I mean, they were at best kind of cute before the pandemic. But now
they've only aged.
We are just
they've only gotten
sassier.
They've only gotten more comfortable with us somehow. It's awful.
Yes, it is. The whole thing. So that's a whole different kind of fear that I totally believe in.
Yes. Yeah.
But ghosts, I'm just I'm not like 100% either way. Okay. But every time I hear a ghost story, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. You imagine that.
But happening. You do love listening to ghost stories.
Oh, I love listening to ghost stories. And I love thinking, that'd be crazy if that were true. But I don't ever think, man, that's true.
You've never heard a story where you thought, ooh,
Girl, I've had things happen to me that I've been like, well, that's not true.
It's ridiculous.
And and maybe that is what it is. Maybe it's like a defense mechanism. Yeah. Like if I let my mind go to that totally unknown place, that's a little too creepy. And how do I come back? So maybe that's kind of how I deal with that. I just kind of compartmentalize it into, well, that's fake news. But maybe it's not. I don't know. Convince me. That's what we're here for. You tell me why you believe. Like, why when you hear a story, are you so like, oh, that happened?
Well, one reason why I feel that way is because it's so fun to believe.
Yeah.
It's so fun to get so scared. But also, one reason I believe is because I've had some things that cannot be explained. My dear sister.
Yeah.
They can't be.
They're freaky. You're going to tell us. We're going to talk about all of our personal experiences as well.
Yes.
We will definitely dig into and why I think yours are still cute and not necessarily real. Mm-hmm. And why mine, I still feel like I was just under the influence of a prankster somehow, even though he wasn't home when it happened.
Mm-hmm. I've heard yours and I believe yours, whether you do or not.
As long as somebody out there believes.
Well, we decided to do this podcast because we needed something to live for during this pandemic.
We were both getting to the point where there was nothing to look forward to. And when you get to that point, you either don't look forward towards anything or you make something happen. So
yes, absolutely. And if you are listening to this in the future, and either it's the end of the world or we've solved it, who knows at this point, but hopefully we're all back out in the world like normal. But if you're listening to it in the future, we are currently in November of 2020. So we're in like the 8th month of this pandemic. No, not quite.
I mean, year. It feels like years at this point.
Yeah, about because the 6th month of being quarantined mostly.
With
and
children.
Oh, so many children.
And range, by the way, from 10
11.
11.
I've got an 11-year-old.
Or 11 months. She could be 2 by this point. I have stopped paying attention fully. I think she's alive. She's alive. She's alive. I'm kidding. That's totally a joke. She is alive and doing well. But and around 9 or 10 months, I really have kind of lost count. But
she'll be 1 in February.
I always thought I would be like one of those moms that would take pictures of every month. And I start off strong. I start like month 1, month 2, and then about month 4, I'm like, screw this. I don't even know what month it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary. I don't remember anything. Like my kids will ask me, like, oh, tell me a story about when I was real little. I'm like,
that's why we should keep baby books.
I know,
but I'm not that mommy either.
I'm not organized enough to do that.
No.
Sounds like so much work. That's what Time Hop is for.
Yeah.
Time Hop is a really good.
Time Hop is full of memories.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. They're like, tell me a story. You're like, hold on. And you just like go into the closet and look up Time Hop.
Yeah. Maybe we should backtrack. Like maybe while we're still in this mess, we should start filling out retroactively. Just look at Time
backwards Hop. Baby book.
Yeah. Like we're like, 4 years ago, you said the funniest thing. I'm going to put this down and pretend like I did it at the moment. Because what if Time Hop
What else do we have to do right now?
What if it goes under and then we're...
Oh, no.
That can't happen. Yeah, I know. And then we have no memories of our kids.
No, I know. That cannot happen. Okay, sorry. So we are not here to talk about kids because that's why...
we did it for so long.
We did it for so long. Because that's why we're here. Yes. Because we are tired of our kids. So we are here to talk about ghosts.
That's right. And we have 2 stories to tell you today. And we are going to talk a little bit about our own stories that we've hinted about. I think only because I've read my story and it reminded me of at least one of my stories.
Okay.
I want to read the story before
you get
I tell mine.
Stuff.
Yes.
Okay. I'm down.
And if you are somebody who listens to podcasts a lot, listener who's out there, and you think, man, I just really want someone to read my podcast or my story.
Oh, yes.
We don't have any. So
yeah, we definitely put this out there and got lots of likes and only 2 people responded. So, but perfect. 1 for you, 1 for me.
Right. So if you're like, man, I really wish we will read it. Even if it's not that good, we'll read it. We don't have any.
We might hate on it, but we'll read it.
No,
we won't hate on it. No. I will. You'll make me a believer. I'm sure it'll be yours that makes me the believer.
We're gonna get nothing.
I know.
And we will talk about how you can send emails at the end. All right. So let's get started. Do you want to do it or?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
Okay. All right. So mine was submitted by a college friend that I have not seen in like 20 years. So that kind of tells my age a little bit. But her name is Megan, and I believe she lives somewhere in Bowling Green area, Russellville maybe.
Her name is also Megan. So
yes. My name is Megan. Her name is Megan. Mine is spelled with an H and 2 N's. Hers is just the plain Jane, Megan Wade.
Oh, well, now we've lost Megan as a listener.
But we love Megan, and that's hating on her mother for naming her that. Not on her.
That's true. We should also
shout out to Megan. You know I love you, girl. She's hilarious.
We should also mention really quick that Megan, my sister, and I live across the street from each other and see and talk to each other almost more than we talk to our own husbands. Yeah. So the fact that I have not heard the story that she got over a week ago is impressive.
It is. And I've been holding it tight. And to be honest, I've had to read it a couple of times. And I don't know that I fully understand some things. So you might have to help me understand some things of kind of how it happened. So we'll just get into it. Okay. But it's a good story. Like, I mean, it is a good story. I don't believe it, but it is a good story.
Again, we've lost Megan. We're going to have no people listening to this. I
don't believe it, but my sister totally will, Megan. So you'll have one of us out of the two. And then all of the listeners, I'm sure they'll believe it. Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe they're all skeptics too. Okay, here it is. Okay, now I'm reading it from her perspective. So, okay. This is probably not a good ghosty story to anyone else but me. And yes, it is. I was like, girl, don't doubt yourself. Okay, but years ago, my husband and I were coming home and it had just gotten dark. As we turned on our road, a car came towards us from the other direction. It started slowing down, so I did also. I was driving. It finally stopped at about the time I was almost to it. I thought there must be a deer, so I stopped. All of a sudden, it looked like someone was walking slow right in front of their headlights. It's hard to describe, but I could only see the darkness of two legs walking in front of their lights, headed towards where it would pass in front of our headlights. So this is where I feel like I need a model. I need two little cars, and I need like you to walk your fingers in front of the headlights for me. Okay. Here,
I will do that for this audio podcast.
I know, but I need to see it. Okay, visual alert.
So there's a car in this lane, and then here's their car, and they're driving, and then this car suddenly stops. So they're like, "Oh, we should stop too. That maybe there's something in the road." So they stop, but while they're waiting, when there's a really bright light and somebody stands in front of it,
you can only see. It's like blurry. You can only see like. What's passing through.
Yeah. But it's so bright that you're not seeing like a super. So then they're walking. You see that.
But are they walking across the headlights? Or are they walking towards the other car?
Sounds like they're like walking diagonally.
Almost like they got out of that first car and are now walking towards Megan's car?
Yes.
Okay. That was what I was confused about. Like, are they walking towards Megan's car or?
Yeah, they said in front of their headlights, right? Like Megan and her husband.
I don't know. Let's read it again. All of a sudden, it looked like someone was walking slow right in front of their headlights. It's hard to describe, but I could only see the darkness of two legs walking in front of their lights, headed towards where it would pass in front of our headlights.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Only it never did. At the same time, I thought, where did that person just go? The other car threw it in reverse, and they were all over the road backing up.
Ooh, that's creepy.
I know, right? Their lights scanned. I have a theory. Their lights scanned both sides of that road as they backed up. So they're like, backing up.
Lots of light.
And no one was in the road.
Ooh.
We were close enough that I would have seen if someone had opened up the car door. Plus, there wouldn't have been enough time. I was pretty stunned, so I just started slowly driving on. When we passed the car, I remember it was a blue Mustang with two men in it. They were pointing and yelling, looking totally freaked out.
Ew, what?
Right?
What?
My husband and I didn't say a word to each other until we pulled into the driveway. I turned the car off and said, "You saw those legs, right?" He said, "Yes, and I don't want to know where they went." I'm kind of with the husband. I called my mom to tell her, and she said, I love Mom. And she said, "Well, damn it, Megan, your dad isn't home from work yet, and you're telling me this?" I told her it was not anywhere near her house, further down our road. And she said, "Well, if it's got legs, it can walk." Which I totally like, yeah. I have no clue what it was or what it looked like above the waist. But those guys in the other car obviously got a better look. I'm glad we didn't. On a side note, most of my family lives on our road. Beep. She's giving us a lot of information.
Oh,
don't anybody go to
we're going to bleep that out.
Edit that out.
You told her you already said the city she lives in, and now you're.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I might as well just throw in the address and everything.
We're going to post a picture in front of her house.
If you're a true ghost hunter, you'll go there. No, I'm kidding. Do not go to Megan's house. My grandparents live in the Harris house. Oh my gosh, we got to bleep that too.
Quit reading.
I know, stop reading. Stop giving me so much information.
Don't blame Megan. She's our.
Okay, I know.
We
Megan,
have two stories.
Okay, there is an old family cemetery there, and also slave cemeteries on our road. There were wakes in the house. Ooh, many years before they bought it. Oh. I love my family's land so much, but I feel this heaviness when I walk the pasture and woods near it. It sounds silly probably, but I'm almost comforted by it.
Wait, she's almost comforted by
I
her
think by
creepy
the
house?
heaviness. No, Megan, well, I mean, that's your thing. Comforted by it because I feel like they know me. So maybe like,
Oh, okay. So
like
she feels
she's-
like there's
she's-
spirits.
Yeah, like there's spirits. Like
She's
even though
kind of
it's
grown
kinda-
up with them.
right. And I guess like it being a slave cemetery, that's heavy.
Yeah.
But she feels like a comfort that they've known her. So that's sweet.
Okay.
Okay. We're not here to judge. We're not judging you, Megan, I promise. I have told my husband that I'll probably end up the Harris Branch ghost myself someday because I love walking our road and woods so much. She's like a future ghost.
You are putting that out in the
She
future.
would totally put that out there. But you know what? She would make a lovely ghost. She's a lovely person.
Yeah, now you're trying to suck up to Megan.
I know I'm trying to because I totally judge the fact that she's like heaviness and comforted by the heaviness. But no.
No, I get that. Like it, I understand if she's saying it's weird, but it's almost comforting because that's what my home has always felt like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, and I kind of get it too. Like it can still be heavy and feel. No, I don't get it. I don't
No.
get it. I'm trying. I'm reaching. Okay, so my theory is so simple. Sasquatch.
Oh.
Because I don't believe in paranormal ghosts. However, a Sasquatch 100% is on the table. So I mulled it over. I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, totally happened. A Sasquatch walked in front of their headlights and then is so good. They're so good at camouflaging that he just blended into his surroundings.
Have you
Boom.
heard the
Solved
theory that Sasquatch are like interdimensional, and that's why they can disappear so well?
Now that I'm going to call
That's where
BS on.
that's where you.
That's
I
where
lost you in
me. You lost
Sasquatch.
me in
You're totally fine with Sasquatch until there's a different
when
dimension.
it's here on this earth right now. 100% that's happening. But
it can't camouflage
come on.
with head beams, like lights.
Listen, they have existed forever and they have had to go through humanity and they know how to hide. So I'm down. That is my theory.
Here's my
you go.
Well, my confusion on the story. Okay. My only part of real confusion on the story, other than the heaviness, not to judge you, Megan, that part does confuse me. But I love you. I don't know you, but I love you. But okay, so the other car backed up frantically, right?
And then they still passed them. I know that kind of confused me too.
How did they pass them?
My guess was they backed up, like got to get out of here, and then like stopped because they were still headed that same direction. It's not like she said they backed up and turned around.
Yes, I so wish we could. Now, if you're listening and you're that other car,
yes. What are the odds? That would be hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
The two men in the blue Mustang, they ride in, they're like, let me tell you what we saw. But yes, like I think I would have been tempted to roll my window down.
I would have 100% like, no, what are you freaking out about?
What? And by the way, I totally would have been like, I would have turned to my husband right then and been like, what in the hell?
I know. Yeah. That part is creepy to me too.
Yeah. I guess because it was so hair raising that it was like, I don't even want to talk about this.
Yeah. Kevin, my husband, he does not like to be scared, but he is easily scared. But he doesn't like to show that he's easily scared.
Oh, but mine shows it. He totally. Whew.
Yeah. He just won't watch scary movies with me. And when I talk about the creepy things that have happened in our house, he's like, yeah, okay, that's great. Let's just never mention it again. It's fine. I don't want to hear it. So I can see Kevin, he's also Canadian, so he's very reserved.
Yeah, everything's inside.
Yes, and polite. So I could see him being like, no, I didn't. He would probably deny it. He might tell me one time, okay, I saw something.
Maybe I'm Canadian. No, I wouldn't deny it. I would just be like, let's put the facts out there. It was a Sasquatch. Plain and simple. Easy. Move on and just keep on driving. You go home and tell everybody you saw Sasquatch.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I have no idea. I don't have a theory because I gotta know what those men in the car saw.
Yeah, the fact that they were freaking out
enough to stop,
to back up, like they wanted to get away from whatever was walking in front of the headlights.
But even then, like they stopped because they saw something, and then it walked in front of their car.
And
ooh, that is so spooky.
It is very creepy. And the fact that they freaked out definitely still supports my theory that it was Sasquatch, because that would scare them.
Right.
But what I love about this being a ghost story, because again, I might be skeptical, but I do love ghost stories. What I love about this is it's not your typical, I was asleep in the middle of the night and it's easily explained. Like, okay, well, you were dreaming.
Sleep paralysis. You blame everything on sleep paralysis.
Yes, definitely. That is a huge thing, because I've had it. So
I've had it too. That doesn't mean there's not also a demon in your room. Okay,
or
listen.
In fact, exactly mean that there's not a demon. You sleep paralysis. Exactly. What
I feel like your story of sleep paralysis is actually proof, because you just couldn't move. You woke up and you couldn't move, and it was scary.
It was terrifying.
I'm not doubting that at all.
Right.
However, you did not see anything creepy looming in the corner.
No.
Or climbing on top of your, up on your bed. And people see that a lot.
Doesn't exist.
No.
Because the reason I didn't see it is because it doesn't exist, A. But then B, the reason why other people see it is because your brain goes into this, like, it's got to explain things. It's got to rationalize things. So when I was in that sleep paralysis mode, I didn't think there was something paranormal. I went because I don't believe in it. That's not what my brain went to. My brain went to someone's breaking into my house. Like, I can remember laying there and feeling panicked and like thinking something is really wrong. Someone must be breaking into my house, because that I could totally see happening. So I was laying there. A Sasquatch breaking into my house is 100% could happen. So I laid there and like terrified, thinking something's really wrong. And why can't I move? I won't. And like, before I could even like rationalize that, I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to protect myself from this intruder? And then I'm like, well, why? Wait a second. Like, it took like several minutes for my mind to like catch up to, oh, that's not what's scaring me. What's scaring me is that I cannot move, and what really like got me to that moment was when I like scanned the room and I saw Corley, my dog, laying at the foot of the bed, and she was not at all. She was just laying, sleeping, snoring, fine. And I thought, okay, if somebody were in the house, she'd be going crazy. So that's when my mind kind of caught up with, okay, this is something else I'm afraid of. So my theory is, if you believe in ghosts, your mind's going to try to rationalize what the terror is that you're feeling.
I feel
I am a genius. That was so smart.
You're so humble.
Yes, and humble. Yes, I've been told that.
I feel like a lot of times it is sleep paralysis.
Okay.
But I feel like sometimes
caused by a demon?
What if you don't know for sure? When you see a demon, when you see something creepy, it like, I have never had this happen. So really, I shouldn't be fighting so hard for it.
You are. I mean, you're like doubling down. But go ahead.
But I mean, the fact that you didn't see anything at all, you were afraid, but you didn't see anything extra. You were able to look around and go, no, it's my room.
I didn't see anything extra, but I totally perceived something extra. Like, I thought, there is a big threat. And so my mind was like trying to figure out what that threat is. But in my mind, ghosts are not plausible. So my mind didn't go there. My mind went to a break-in. Whatever. I explained
but you
it
didn't
like a scientist.
You didn't see the robber in your house. You thought there was one there.
Just like they don't.
Gosh, they do see it.
Just to prove my point. They don't see the ghost. They think they see the ghost.
If you have had sleep paralysis, please, I'm begging, even if this podcast is the only one we ever make, please send me your sleep paralysis, creepy paralysis. Paralysis?
I'm joking. This is not.
Do I need to come around?
Edit this part up. I choked on my beer. That was not the coronavirus.
But even if it was, I'm the only one at risk. I mean, it's a podcast.
The podcast isn't going to get it. Well, still,
nobody else is here
judging me for getting Rona.
I don't think people are well, okay.
Lots of people are.
Okay, we should put it out there that we do wear masks everywhere.
Oh,
we're
everywhere.
very excited about the election results.
Yeah. If you're not,
then you can
this
just
is the wrong
skip it.
podcast. Okay, yeah, that'll leak out, I'm sure. Anyway, go Kamala.
Okay, so seriously, if you have a scary sleep paralysis possibility demon,
anything above, if you believe or if you don't believe, let us know. We would like to hear your side of the story.
Yeah, and also if anything weird has happened to you and you also don't believe in ghosts, but you can't fully explain this, send that in.
Yeah, for sure.
Be on Megan's side. I mean, she's not as cool as I am, but be on her side for once. Let's see what happens.
My whole point to that, though, was I liked Megan's story because it was not your typical, it could be explained by a dream. You know what I mean? Like, or you were sleepwalking or something weird, like you were in sleep mode. Because those stories are good.
Uh-huh.
But that's what I always like.
Right. She was fully awake.
You were asleep. Yeah. And multiple people. So, like, what I like about this is that there were 4 people that saw the same thing.
Yes.
A Sasquatch, and freaked out. So I like that. I like that aspect of it being a ghost story. That does intrigue me.
Yeah.
I still explained it, but it does intrigue me.
I am fully okay with it being a Sasquatch. That's still a very cool, creepy story.
No,
that's
I think
so
that's amazing.
Cool.
I mean, I'm always on the lookout for Sasquatches. When I drive on long roads, and I'm being serious, I am like constantly scanning the wood line for a Sasquatch.
I love that. I've never known that about you.
Oh my gosh. You know, Jack, my former roommate, the one who's a prankster, he and I would go on road trips all the time. And that's what we would do all the time. It's like, okay, let's check it out.
Did you watch that show?
Yes, we did. And they would do that call, and he would get real close up to the camera and he'd say, I do believe I smell a squatch. And that might be where we developed our love for Sasquatch hunting. So you learned something new about me.
Good to know.
Didn't know there was anything left. Okay, I'm ready for your story.
Okay, all right, here we go. Here is my story. And because apparently I'm not as cool as Megan, I didn't get one of my own. So
you'll also learn that as we go.
That is not true. I'm
the more you find
if you're picking this podcast, then you're probably more on my side than Megan, but it's fine. Okay, I'm so sorry. You need Alicia. Okay, Alicia. Alicia's
a high school friend of mine. And again, this was like huge restraint. She sent it to my inbox. I did not read it. I swear on everything. I swear on the Sasquatches that are out there. I did not read it. I saved it and I forwarded it to you. And then, or like, what is that? DM'd? I don't know. I'm so old. Like I put copy and paste and I put it in your
DMs. It sounds so dirty.
It does. I DM.
You know what makes it weird though? Because people say slide into my DM.
Yes, that is so dirty.
That is.
I want to do that. How do you slide?
To who?
I don't know.
Okay,
but how do you slide into a DM? It just sounds dirty enough that
it sounds
kind of fun.
Oh, it sounds real dirty to me.
Well, if anybody knows how to slide into a DM.
I think you did it because you sent me the message.
Okay. Again, so old. Okay. So, yeah.
We're not really that old.
High school friend. Alicia, my high school friend, sent this to me. Apparently slid it into my DM.
She slid it right into mine.
Boy, that is really dirty.
Oh, my.
Okay. So now she has it, and I have not read it or heard it.
Okay, and I read it once. I didn't want to get too familiar with it, but when I was reading it, I was like, oh, me and Alicia would get along. Okay, first, let me just say that I love anything scary. Ghost stories, real life experiences, scary movies, psychological thrillers. I'll take those all day, every day over a Hallmark movie.
Heck yes, and that's what, okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I am the same way. I might not fully believe. But yes, Alicia. Hallmark, no, thank you. I don't want to sit and sip and rom-coms, no, thank you.
No. I only want to hear ghost stories.
A rom-com called Twilight.
That's not a comedy.
It is if you're me.
Oh, the old rom-com Twilight.
Vampires? How can that not be a rom-com? I've not even seen it. I'm just saying they sparkle and then they're like vampires that may or may not
All right, I thought we would wait before we got into my Twilight obsession, but there it is.
No, there it is. It's out there on the table.
It's there. It's fine. I also, however, love all things scary.
Yes.
I would rather watch a scary movie over a rom-com for sure. I am also a really big wimp when it comes to scary movies. So as soon as they start, I'm like, oh, this was a bad idea. I don't want to do it.
Yes. Aaron and I once called each other. We live across the street, mind you. However, we both have small children. So
and husbands who work nights.
So it's sometimes hard to get together. But we love to watch things together. So we called each other, marked it up, started it on, and favorite person in the world to ever watch scary movies with is Aaron.
If not our mother.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She wins.
Yeah, you're second. But she definitely wins. But yes, the scariness of like the yelling and the screaming, and it's very vocal watching movies. We should not go to movie theaters often.
No.
Yeah.
Not
okay, sorry.
Thing. Okay, there we go. But anyways, Alicia, you and I would be very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. With that being said, I was thrilled to be celebrating a friend's birthday by going on a ghost tour at Buffalo Trace Distillery 3 years ago.
Ooh,
that's here in Kentucky.
That? Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Buffalo Trace. It's bourbon.
All right, let's do this.
Oh, we live in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
If you couldn't tell by our kind of accents.
I mean, we probably have thick accents.
I heard it a bit with something you said during your story.
Of course, it was my fault.
Yeah. Okay, before going in, I had prepped myself to see something of the paranormal realm. I did, so that kind of proves your point, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did see a figure that looked like an old man in a rocking chair in the corner. That's always your answer. Chair. It was Sasquatch.
He loves a rocking chair, knitting.
Loves bourbon.
I'm just gonna blend in with my surroundings.
Don't mind me.
No, I'm a ghost. I
like that you just broke down gender stereotypes. That old man is knitting in a corner.
Okay. Yes. Well, sure. Old men can knit.
Old Sasquatch.
Old Sasquatch men.
I love it. Okay. Aside from that, nothing more exciting until about a week later when a weird thing started happening in my home.
Oh, okay. Now it's getting good.
My husband occasionally works night shift. Oh, we know about that.
Yeah, we do.
And we live on a 40-acre farm. We don't know about that.
Creepy AF.
Oh, okay.
I mean, also beautiful. It's probably very beautiful, but out there by yourself.
That's just so much
at
work.
Night. Yeah. We won't tell where you live, Alicia.
I am about to say.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to say the county. Can I say the county? That's not too much.
Put it in there. But yeah, no, I don't think it's too much. I mean,
it'd be really weird if you went
looking for a 40-acre. I mean, there are.
I'm obsessed with Alicia now.
So
it's from me.
If our one listener went out searching,
or if it's me now, I'm the one who wants to be best friends with her now. After reading that,
you're out there looking for.
Oh, sorry, Alicia. I'm reading your email. You have a stalker now.
Oh well,
I'm kidding. That's probably not funny in these modern times.
No.
Okay. When he's in a 40-acre farm in the middle of Henry County.
Oh, totally would have guessed Oldham. We were from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he's gone, I sometimes sleep on the couch just so I can be out in the open living room area in case I hear something, etc., which is the opposite of what I would do. I'd put in headphones and pretend like everything's fine. Okay, one night he left for work and I went to get on the couch and go to sleep. I started hearing this music playing very lightly coming from down the hall where our bedroom was. I kept laying there thinking I was just imagining it. So Alicia is aware enough to say, this is probably in my head.
Imagination.
Okay, look at you.
Okay.
But it just wouldn't stop. So I got up and walked to the bedroom. The music slowly stopped, but then I could hear it playing in the living room. Ooh, I don't like that.
Oh, yeah, like bounces.
Yeah, that's creepy. I went back to the living room and it stopped again. Super weird, right? Right.
Yeah.
But after that, it completely stopped and I went on to bed just thinking I was imagining things. This is the part in the story where it stopped because I hear it all the time where they're like, oh, I saw something terrifying. I closed my eyes and went to sleep. I'm like, what?
If that happens, you don't just ignore it.
Yeah, but a lot of people apparently do. I listen to...
maybe me. Maybe that's the denial. Maybe I would do that.
Like I'm just going to close my eyes until it's gone, but then you fall asleep in that time?
Maybe it just goes away.
No.
Okay.
A week or so later, I had moved our bedroom furniture around to where our bed was up against our window and I could see out into the hall.
Okay.
My oldest son's bedroom is directly across the hall from our bedroom. We had all gone to bed one night, and it always takes me a while to actually fall asleep. I started hearing music playing again that sounded like it was coming from right outside the bedroom door.
Ew.
I could never make out the words to the music both times, but it kept getting louder, so I sat up and was thinking, am I dreaming? Am I really hearing this? I laid back down and could still hear it. It started slowly turning off, as if something was turning a knob on the radio to turn it off. Again, super strange. My husband said I was crazy, but I promise you this happened. Here comes the good part. A few nights later, I was again struggling to fall asleep when I looked up out of my bedroom door to see a child, a boy, wrapped up in a blanket standing in my doorway, the same size and height as my son. I immediately sat up and said, Kason, my oldest son's name, are you
Cute
okay?
name, by the way.
It's
Cute
very
name.
cute
Very
name.
cute name.
Yes, very cute name. This is where it starts to feel like my story. No answer. I said, Kason.
That's creepy.
Yeah, kids in general are creepy.
Yes, kids
even
are creepy.
when they're real and even when they're yours.
Well, any sort of sleepwalking kid, any sort of kid that's like, Mommy.
Ooh,
in the middle of the
singing?
night. No. Singing kids, don't get me started.
It's funny that we're both teachers. And moms, and I love kids, but they do freak me out.
I mean, sometimes I love them, but they are scary.
I love them a lot of the times, but a lot of times they were really creepy. Okay, so no answer. So I go to take the blanket off to get up and see why he was out of bed. As I'm pulling the covers back, the boy figure re-wrapped his blanket around his body and skipped down the hallway towards the living room. I get up completely out of bed, never taking my eyes off the doorway, and walk to the living room and kitchen away from the bedrooms, calling Kason's name over and over. I could not find him anywhere. I walked back down the hall to his bedroom.
So she's still thinking it must be my son.
Yeah, so she's not even scared.
Oh, girl.
Eesh. Okay. Anyways, I get up completely out of bed, never taking my eyes off the doorway, and walk to the living room and kitchen away from the bedroom, calling Kason's name over and over. I could not find him anywhere. I walked back down the hall to his bedroom, and he was tucked in tight, sound asleep. A few things happened after that night. 1, I realized there was something in the house that was trying to get my attention. 2, whatever it was never really scared me. Freaked me out, yes.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alicia. Like, I mean, at that point, even the skeptic of the skeptics would be scared. And you're like, I mean, it never really scared me. A little child jaunting around your house.
Yeah, that's really creepy.
Okay, you're brave, better woman than I am. Go on.
I don't know if a happy child is scarier than a creepy child, but I think
any child. I
think they're both very creepy.
That is not supposed to be there.
Yes.
It's creepy.
Yes.
Creepy.
Very true. All right. So freaked me out, yes, but I was never afraid of whatever it was. Thirdly, I knew without a doubt that I must have opened a door at that ghost tour and brought something back with me. And lastly, I moved my bed back to the other wall where I couldn't see out of my doorway. It's never been moved back to the window. Whatever it was enough to freak me out so much that I'm not willing to take the chance of seeing it again. Whew. As the years have passed, only a few things have happened. I feel someone sitting on my bed occasionally. Nope. And I even felt someone climb into my son's bed with me. Wait, what?
Wait, what? Hold on. So she's in bed with her kid.
I'm gonna read that sentence again. I feel someone sitting on my bed occasionally, and I even felt someone climb into my son's bed with me. So real to the point where I was asking him where he had been, expecting him to cuddle up with me, but there was no one there.
Oh, she's like one of those good moms that like goes and is ready for her kid to like, come on.
Ugh. Oh, no, not you, Alicia. That's amazing. I'm just jealous.
No, yeah. We just wish we were that. Because we're like, oh, you want us to tickle your back again? Okay, so that's a lot. And I have an explanation.
Oh, okay. Of course you do.
Baby Sasquatch.
Shut up.
No. Okay. So, man, I don't know. I still don't know Alicia these days. I don't know. Like, I'm not,
So you're
I'm
just
not doubting
saying
Alicia.
she's imagining things?
No, I'm just wondering. I'm just kidding, Alicia. Your story, first of all, was so detailed and so perfect. Like, I would like to see a scary movie made out of that.
Yeah.
It was good. It was such a good, scary story. Sleep paralysis, I'll go back to that. She thinks she was.
She got up.
And dreaming. Possibly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure.
I believe you, Alicia. The music playing and like hopping around, I'm thinking like a kid's toy, something, sometimes those can, remember when Mom had Teddy Ruxpin?
Yeah.
And it like mimicked the bullfrogs out back. And then it was like, yeah. So like there are things that could be explained within that to me. But ultimately, I guess I would just put my headphones in and like hope for the best. But the kid, seeing the actual kid. So I'm like, okay, how tucked in was he? Like, she makes it sound like he was pretty tucked in after running around with him. But I also feel like
she walked around the house trying to find him. Right. And then when she walked in, he was like snoring asleep.
Right. Kids do sleepwalk though. Like kids do sleepwalk.
They don't sleep skip.
They could totally sleep skip
down the hallway.
Okay. But my whole thing with that though is like, and Alicia, if you were here, you would have full rights to go get mad at me and be like, whatever, I know, But my whole question is like, if it were my kid, I would recognize him. Like, and if it wasn't, I wouldn't recognize him. I would be like, oh, that is a ghost. And I am not going out there.
Dark.
Or baby Sasquatch. And either way, I'm not going out there.
You would go out for baby Sasquatch.
Yeah, I would. That's true.
If it's dark and you can only see the silhouette and they're about the same size as your kid, what if it wasn't a ghost?
Why aren't we turning lights on? Like at this point, if I'm getting out and looking and I can see him skipping down, I'm like, turn that light on and get your butt back into bed. That's the other thing. Like maybe I'm like too mean to have like ghosts come visit me. I'm like, you will don't get up and skip down that hallway. Get yourself, and then they're gone. I'm like, oh, solve that problem. One less kid I have to worry about.
Maybe she has more than one kid and she was afraid turning the lights on. I wouldn't turn all the lights on to go chase mine. I'd wake up the whole house.
My mom voice would come out. But I mean, yes. Okay, so that's it. I now believe. We don't need to have we don't need to have
well, this has been great.
This is it. One and done.
Oh,
no,
gosh.
I still think that there are things that could be explained with that. And mainly sleep, dream. I mean, kids do weird things. They sleepwalk. He could have like come to the doorway, stood there, and then turned around, went back to his bed and started sleeping again. They do weird things. But I don't know. So that's why like I'm not 100% sold. And here's why. It didn't happen to me. And I think until
it has happened to you though. You've had weird things.
Weird things have happened to me that I'm like, that's so silly. I have yet to see a ghost child. The day that I see a ghost child.
So specific.
I mean, okay, it has to be like 10 or younger. I'm not gonna, if they're anything above 11, I'm out. That's not a ghost child.
Prove it.
Get out of my house again. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just where I stand. I don't know why. Okay, but let's hear why that reminds you of your story, because I was thinking of a totally different story.
You're thinking of a camp
because I thought
story.
that I knew you. And then you switched up, and I'm like, I can't remember what story she's talking about.
You do know the story, but I'm still going to tell you.
Yeah, well, tell me, because I clearly don't.
All of our listeners haven't heard it yet.
all of them out there have not heard it yet. So go ahead.
Okay, so when we first moved to the house that we live in now, I had a couple
kind of come back, but I must have clearly not listened fully. So go ahead.
Okay. Whatever. So anyways, we moved in and I never felt like I had lived in a haunted house before ever.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple little creepy feelings in this new house. So one was that when I would take a shower, and this was fully, I can say it was in my head because I have no proof.
Right.
But I felt like there was always something like on the other side of the shower curtain.
Yeah, that's your brain.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've admitted it. It's
Okay,
fine. Just we're gonna keep going.
Okay.
We're gonna work through this.
Yes.
So
keep on.
when I would take a shower, I was like, I just feel like when I pull this curtain off, I'm gonna see an old man.
Then do it.
I would, and I wouldn't see anything.
Okay. Well, okay.
So I told myself, this is in your head, and I'm overreacting.
Right.
And I'm being ridiculous because I've got this mean sister who's got into my subconscious.
Right.
Well, you decide. Okay. Not you.
Yeah,
you
they decide.
Listener, decide. But anyways, so I was like, well, this is probably nothing. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one night I go to take my shower because I'm a night showerer. And
Which is so weird in itself. But go on.
Okay.
I'm not judging.
Okay.
I'm not judging your story just like I didn't judge Megan's story.
Okay, well then you're judging.
Okay, a little bit.
So I open the shower curtain and I don't see a man standing there, but I do see that the door to my bathroom is open a crack, which who cares? It's an old house, and I do have children, although they were all asleep.
But it did kind of like you noticed it.
I noticed it because I would never just take a shower
with the door
open.
Okay.
Unless everybody in my house was gone. And even then I probably wouldn't. So anyways, I noticed it and I thought, well, that's weird. Like all my kids are asleep. My husband is gone.
Right.
And sadly, our dog had passed.
Oh,
so I know.
Way to bring the
I know. I'm
down.
so sorry. But we didn't have a pet at the time. So I was like, well, that was weird. Whatever. No big deal. I didn't let myself get freaked out. I was very cool about it. The next night, I go to take my shower. And I'm like, oh, that was weird last night.
Right.
So I shut the door and I made sure I heard it click.
Okay.
So far, this does not remind you of Alicia's story. But this is just
totally different. But okay.
It's just prep about my house.
We're in it, yeah.
So anyway, so I shut it until I hear the click. And then I take my shower. All is good. I get out of the shower and the door is not cracked open. It is wide open.
Okay. Ventilation system.
No, it cannot. Shut your face. It was wide open against the wall.
Okay. Yeah, that is weird.
All kids are still asleep. Still don't have a dog in that one day that it took for the next day. I have no pets.
Now, ghost dogs, I totally believe in.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, okay.
Okay. So that was creepy. So this sets me up for like, oh, my house is a little spooky. Okay. At one point, I, again, was totally dreaming. So, I mean, like asleep. So when I woke up to this, I didn't let it get me too scared, but I woke up to what sounded like a little boy. I have all girls saying, Mommy, like aggressively in a whisper near my bed.
Well, little boys are aggressive, aren't they? I have a little boy.
So that freaked me out. But again, I'm sleeping. Okay, so here's the one that I cannot talk myself out of.
Okay. Because
I have a witness. It is a canine witness, but I do have a witness.
Okay.
Okay, so I am also with differently arranged bedding, which I thought was so weird that we also had that. I later changed my bed so I couldn't see out the door. Not quite for that reason.
So that to me is like,
I don't want to see it. I'd rather.
Oh, I want to see it.
If it's going to be there.
Show me. Maybe that's why like spirits don't come in because I'm like, where's the popcorn? Let's see you. Like I want to see it. I'm like, I want to believe in it. It's not that I don't want to believe it. I'm just like, I want to believe in it. It just,
you want proof.
I want proof.
All right.
And they're not going to show themselves somebody who wants proof.
That's true. All right. So anyways, my bed was currently in the position where I could see all the way out down my hallway.
Okay.
And my kids have been long asleep.
Okay.
Kevin is gone to work. In this time, we have gotten a new dog. It's a happy time again. Ellie, our dog, is laying in bed with me, and I'm watching TV. I'd say it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And I'm watching TV, so I'm not watching outside of the hallway, but in my peripheral vision, I see something dark dart across my door, almost as if they're trying to sneak past my door to get into the kitchen, which sounds like something one of my children would do. Right, so I'm like, okay, Sophie, my oldest. I'm sure that was Sophie. But what was weird is that Ellie, who was asleep, as soon as it happened, she looked up and looked down the hallway.
Okay.
So Ellie saw something.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, I'm waiting there like, all right, I'm just listening for her. Like, what is she doing? She's not, I'm just kind of watching her so I can get her in that wonderful gotcha moment when she tries to come back. Like, oh, you think you're sneaky? That's funny. But it's taking a long time and I don't hear anything happening in the rest of the house. So I'm like, what is she doing? So finally I call out, Sophie, what are you doing? Nothing. So I'm like, oh, she's going to make me get out of bed. So I take the covers off me. I get up and I walk down like mad. At this point, I'm not scared.
Confident you're mad.
Yeah. I'm like, this girl thinks she's going to put one over on me. Mm-hmm. I walk in the kitchen and there's nobody there. And there's no way to like sneak back in for your theory because I'm looking down the hallway. You'd have to walk back down that hallway.
Don't worry. You know I have a theory. I've already cooked it. So go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay. So anyways, so I walk through that whole part of the house. I look through everything. I don't see her anywhere. So I'm like, well, that's weird. So I go and I check on her, fully passed out, not pretending, like heavy rhythmic breathing. She's asleep. I look down on the bottom bunk, her little sister, also fast asleep. I even go and check on, at this point, the baby, who I don't even know if she was walking at this point, but I go and I check, fully asleep. All 3 kids knocked out.
So what is your next move? What do you do then? Like,
I texted you, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I do remember.
And said, I'm pretty sure I just saw a ghost in my house and I'm really freaked out. And you were like, you'll be fine.
Sasquatch. No, because that is not my theory. Believe it or not. I don't want to embarrass you with this, but didn't you not too long ago have squirrel problems? Like squirrels were nesting somewhere. I mean, could it not have been something?
First of all, I don't even remember the squirrel problem. That's how bad my memory is. What?
No, you have like squirrels nesting in your pantry or something. Like
no, that was a full-on rat. I had a rat.
Look, girl, I was trying not to call you out. I thought it was a rat, but I was
like, a rat. We took care of it.
Podcast that you've got rats.
I was just trying care of it. You think a rat the size of Sophie?
There's some big rats out
there. Oh my gosh.
But no, I mean, I think maybe a rat whose shadow bounced off the wall.
No, hell no. There is no way. There is no
I feel like this is where we call him Mythbusters. Our guest star. Wouldn't that be so cool if like on our first podcast we're like, and we're going to call our guest from Mythbusters. Because really it could be a shadow of something that was a lot smaller. I mean, your light's projecting from the TV.
No, it was dark in the hallway.
It just could have been like, you know how like sometimes you're watching TV and like it gets really light and then dark and it caught your eye.
And Ellie also, it caught Ellie's eye to look down the hallway.
Dogs can see, so they catch the light and they're like, the light is there. Yeah.
She lifted her head and looked down the hallway. Like, who is this kid?
At a shadow of light. I mean, did you see a figure? You just said something darted.
I saw something the size of about an 8-year-old.
Okay. But again.
No, there are no rats. If I had a Sasquatch infestation, then maybe.
All right. Well, I'm just going to say that these have been great stories. They really have, like, all the way through.
Yes, they have been great. I'm so excited that we got 2, like,
bam, they were good.
Yes.
They weren't even like, oh, we'll just read. They were not.
We got nothing. Reads. No, they were very
not
good.
Reads. They were, but like when I read mine, I was like, ooh, yeah, because I loved that mine. I love both of them because like yours was a little bit more of a traditional ghost story.
Yeah.
Mine was not traditional. So I feel like both of them were very good. I'm going to hold on to my experiences. I'm going to put that out as a teaser.
Ooh, snap.
For our listeners.
Clickbait. Is that what they call it?
Oh, okay. You're so young. She's 4 years younger than me, but you know what clickbait is. I have no idea. I feel like that was like Clicklist, some sort of like like a new store that I've not heard of.
Oh, Megan, your mom is showing. Stop.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. So I just don't keep up with trends the same way I don't keep up with ghosts. So my whole point though is that, I mean, like I can sit here and say, I will not believe it until I see it. And even the things that happen to me, I didn't see them happen. They were kind of like after the fact type things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm skeptic.
All right.
I mean, prove me wrong.
Thank you guys for listening tonight. I really hope you liked it. I hope we get to do more than one of these. If you've got a really good ghost story, please send it in to myskepticalsister@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at myskepticalsister. And I think that's all the places you can reach us.
Maybe.
So,
I mean, we could give out our phone numbers, but then I think at that point, we might be getting too many calls.
let's not do that yet. Let's wait. Let's see how it goes. If we really get desperate.
If we continue to have just one follower, we'll give that one follower.
That one follower will get our email if they like.
How we could promise the first 5 listeners our phone number.
Oh, I don't even feel comfortable with that.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. You nailed that. You told us everything,
Oh.
every place they needed to go, and what they needed to do at every place.
Okay, well, thank you.
It was like a professional podcast.
I mean, it's not like it's my first podcast I've ever listened to. It is my first podcast I've ever done, so that is pretty cool.
Well, you nailed it.
All right, I do need to say that our cover art is done by the fabulous artist Sophie, who happens to be my daughter. She's only 11. That's impressive. We look like Disney princesses. Check us out on Instagram, and you will see that we don't look like Disney princesses.
But we love the fact that we looked at, in her eyes, we looked that beautiful.
But we do look like that picture. We just look like the glorified versions
of ourselves in that picture.
You can tell that one is me and one is you.
That is true. Yes.
And any moment we're about to break out in song and fall in love with a frog. I don't know. Something magical is going to happen. We look so cute in that picture.
We do.
So thank you, Sophie, for your cover art. I am sorry that you had to listen to that song to start.
I'm sorry. Yes, that would be Aaron.
It was me on GarageBand. Do I know what I'm doing? No.
Again, you nailed it, but what do I know?
If you are a talented musician and want to make a cover song for us, do it.
Coldplay.
You think they'll listen? Coldplay is totally listening.
Okay, well, listen, here's the thing. We might need a new theme song. So if you are a local or Coldplay artist and you'd like to create it, but I'm good with it.
If you did not have to Google, how do I make GarageBand sound spooky, you might be better equipped than me.
That is true.
Okay. So anyways, thank you for listening tonight. We had so much fun. We really want to do more. So please, please, please send us those spooky stories.
Have a good night.
Bye.